Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. Ooh, Luck Monkey in first. Chaz, please in second. Straight Jacket in third. What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? Happy Thursday, Alyssa. Happy to have you back. The question for today, to start us all off, is: would you rather the world was ruled by robots or aliens? In chat, robots or aliens, please. Robots or aliens. Oh, Ross, I like my freedom. What up, Bugaboo? How you doing? Welcome back. Oh, Alyssa already spied the new community goal. Well done, well done. Yeah, there's a new community goal, folks. And I messed up. When I was trying to add a new community goal, they only let you have 3 at a time. So I removed the first community goal, but didn't realize that I clicked too quick, and I refunded everyone's points from the very first community goal. So you all should be flush with points at the moment. And I can see that we're already 20% of the way to the JS objects class. So that's good to see. Envy said, would everyone want to be the nicer ruler? Well, so we already know that we can defeat aliens. So if push came to shove, we know Bugaboo got it. Binary upload, boom. We got that. We already got that unlocked. We learned all about that in this class to defeat the aliens should they ever turn against us. We got that. Now, robots, we're not there yet. We're just learning the basics of programming right now, you know. We haven't learned how to defeat the robots yet, but aliens, we got down. Wow, thank you everybody already contributing to the community goal. That's awesome to see. Welcome back, folks. Happy to have you all join us back. Yeah. Robots in disguise. Mega Leon. There you go. Like from Power Rangers. And I just grow. Or like Ant-Man, right? I can grow like really big or really small. Micro or Mega Leon. Mega Leon needs to be an emote. I think that'll be the tier. Since we have Micro Leon, we need Mega Leon, and Mega Leon will be like just like my eye or something. We'll make that a tier 3 emote. Izzy, I everyone welcome our robot overlords. All right, everybody, welcome back. Welcome back. Let me bring up Little Leon, and we'll do questions as normal. And then tonight we're getting all into arrays. So happy to have you all back. Go to Little Leon. And always, let's start off with questions. Let's give folks a few minutes to get here, a minute or two to get here, and then we'll get in with the questions. I was waiting for how long it would take for somebody to notice the new redemption. For 1 million Micro Leons, our channel points, you too can unlock my OnlyFans. So only 1 million channel points to get my OnlyFans. Talk to my wife, she's cool with it. So you collect those little Leons, those Micro Leons, and my OnlyFans can be yours too. Shante, yeah, this is technically the last class. There is a community goal that's almost already there. So I'd be very surprised if we did not reach the community goal by the end of stream to add one more class onto the end. We're at 13 classes. I don't want to end on 13. I want to end on 14. So there is a community goal for one more class. That class will be next week. And then we're probably going to take a break for 2 classes and then come back right as we get ready for 100 devs. So a lot of stuff. So time for questions. If you have questions, throw them in chat. Happy to answer your questions as we kind of let folks get here. And Stepha said, what do you think about TypeScript? I like it. I've been using it. I think it adds some protections and maintainability to your code. It can be fun to learn. So I'm for it. I haven't fully switched over myself yet, but I like it. I don't see anything wrong with it. I think there are a lot of folks that are using it professionally now. So I think maybe one of these days I'll invest heavier in kind of getting up to speed with it, but I'm not opposed to it. Mcode 913. Yeah, we'll have office hours this Saturday. They'll be back on Twitch from 12 p.m. Eastern time to 3 p.m. Eastern time here on Twitch. As normal, we go until we run out of questions. If we run out of questions, sometimes we end early. If we have more questions, sometimes we stay a little bit later. So office hours will be this Saturday. Alyssa said, we should end on 15. That's a nicer number. Hey, maybe there will be another community goal that'll get us there. Happiness 2206. If we don't get into 100 devs, can we still watch those Twitch live streams? Absolutely. Everything will be streamed live here on Twitch, so you're always able to follow along. The folks that get accepted to 100 devs get a lot of kind of perks or extras, more one-on-one attention, special channels, extra things that will make it a little bit easier from them to go from kind of no skills to employable. So there are a lot of perks for being in 100 devs, but all the classes, everything I always do will be out in the open for free for everyone. Chess, please. No, I haven't made a decision on who's going to be on 100 devs yet. We have lots of applications that are coming in, so that's going to be this weekend and this upcoming week, just kind of digging through a lot of applications. There's a lot of stuff to read, lots of videos to watch. So it's going to take me a little while. Yeah. Jay Blaze said, what do you find most rewarding about teaching? So during my day job, I work at Resilient Coders. We're a free nonprofit stipended bootcamp, and we get folks of color jobs as software engineers. Right now in Boston, the overall city's unemployment rate is 2%, 2.4% pre-pandemic. But when you looked in our communities of color, it was double digits. So the thing I enjoy most about teaching is getting more folks into high-paying careers and seeing that effect that it has on themselves, their families, their community. And so that's probably the thing I enjoy most about teaching. The gratifying thing about like teaching day to day is that you can see when things start to make sense for people. And I love seeing like that light bulb moment. That's really precious. And I hold that dear. Welcome everyone. Just doing our normal questions until folks get in here and then we'll get started. Question. I was trying to create an Anki flashcards for JavaScript commands I struggle with and had a hard time coming up with questions to ask for stuff. Try and make it so that you're asking, you're like, how would you do something? So like, how would I add something to the DOM? How would I change a word that's already in the DOM and then tie that to your document.querySelector answer? So try and make it like realistic, like things that you would really practically do, make those your questions, and then your answers can be the actual code snippets. Is 100 devs a continuation of this one, or are we starting from scratch? From scratch. Yeah, we're going to start all the way back at the beginning. That way folks can refresh and get caught up. Yeah. I think we need a bot that when somebody types Java, it just automatically changes it to JavaScript. That'll make the Java folks mad, but I think it'd be funny. Are we finished for today? So today is technically our last class unless we hit that community goal. What's the max contribution per stream? I'm actually not sure. I'm not sure about that. Can you talk about career burnout? I heard Google employee turnover every 5 years. Is this true? Any advice? Yeah, I think if you shoot for FANG and for, I don't want to throw FANG underneath the bus, but when you shoot for high growth tech companies, when you shoot for the best of the best, a lot of folks tend to want to climb that corporate ladder, and climbing that corporate ladder can obviously lead to burnout. You're trying to make good impressions. You're trying to always shoot to make sure that you can get that promotion or the next bump up, because there's a pretty strong incentive behind it. So some folks can get burned out if they're trying to kind of really rapidly kind of climb that ladder. But it's also like finding opportunities that you're passionate about. A lot of my students will join companies that aren't FANG tier companies, but they're companies that are doing stuff that they're excited about, that they're happy to go into work with every day. And so I find when you find an opportunity that kind of intersects with your passion in some way, that can help a lot with burnout, but also just being like really respectful of your time and making sure that work isn't demanding too much of you. It's a job, right? It's not, shouldn't be your life. And so I think especially folks that are early on in our career are always kind of scrambling to stay ahead of the curve, and that can lead out to burnout a lot. And so I talk a lot with my students about kind of like yes, skilling up, yes, staying on top of things, but like managing your time really effectively, especially early on in your career. Alyssa, thank you for the hydrate. Cheers to you. Thank you. Kind of just doing questions for another minute or so, and then we'll get started with arrays today, folks. I'm really excited to get into it. Kat Kava said, "Hey Leon, can you tell us how we can compete with those who have jobs with degrees in the field? How can we make ourselves more appealing?" Well, so one thing you'll realize is that folks that get degrees in computer science, and this isn't for everyone, this is not a generalization, it's just what you're going to see is that most degree programs really don't teach the skills of like web development. Most degree programs will have like 1 or 2 classes that are web development, yet web development has a really large pool of job opportunity. And so I think one of the ways you can stand out from folks that have degrees is to have practical skills and something that they're not going to learn during their degree program, something that they're going to have to invest time outside of the program to skill up on. So that's why I really like full stack JavaScript. There's very few degree programs that teach full stack JavaScript, yet there's a lot of jobs that demand it. And so it can be a nice little niche for you to stand out, have really strong projects that you've built from scratch that you're passionate about, can really help you stand out. If I'm looking at, when I was making hiring decisions, if I was looking at an employee, like a potential employee that just had a degree but no like large projects, and I had somebody that had a couple projects underneath their belt, and I know that within a couple months they could ramp up very efficiently on our team, I would value that more. And I think more and more companies are starting to see that. During the day, the bootcamp I run, most of our students don't have degrees, and 85% of them go on to get full-time offers as software engineers with a starting salary of $98,000. So we haven't seen it really be a deterrent or a blocker for any of our students. Yeah. So if you're just joining us, the question of the day is, would you rather the world be ruled by robots or aliens? Well, we're about to get started. So if you need the slides, !slides in chat, we'll get you the slides for today. If you don't want the auto advancing slides, like as I move, they move for you, just remove that /live off the end. If you want the materials to follow along, we're going to have about 4 different times where we do practice code and your fingers are on the keyboard. If you want that code, !Discord in our chat. You can join our Discord community. You have to agree to the rules, and then there will be a follow-along materials channel where all of the starting materials for today will be. Cool. So Arasi, we're talking about arrays today, but there is a community goal to talk about objects. So we'll see if we can get there. Ghostfire said, "I got a wrist brace. They feel great for dealing with arm problems. Is there common arm or wrist exercises that you should do to avoid pain and heal faster?" Yes. Dr. Levi, the fitness doctor, has a video for gamers that's really applicable to programmers. I love this video. I'm going to put it in chat 1 second. Got to find it. Yeah, he's a doctor on YouTube, and he has this really great video on hand and wrist exercises for gamers. So I'm going to grab this real quick, and I'll put it in chat. I'll make sure it's the right one. I gotta watch the ad real quick. 1 second. I'll make sure it's the right one. No, he like changed it. Hold on. This probably is good enough. This is the one, but he has an older one that I really like. I'll put it in our Discord channel, the older one, but that's the one that he has a lot of good videos about how to keep your hands good. Especially folks, if this is your first time like really doing heavy programming, you really want to make sure you're staying healthy. Make sure when we take those breaks that you're really taking those breaks. You're shaking your hands out, you're getting some light stretching in, you're hydrating, you're moving a little bit. Your body will start to feel pain if you're writing code every day and not taking care of yourself. I get really severe wrist pain in my right wrist if I don't keep a good posture, if I don't use my like ergonomic setup and I'm doing too much. So just be careful, stay healthy. It's something that we're going to talk a lot more. I'm going to do like a whole class on like ergonomics and staying healthy because it's such an important topic and there's really not that much information out there. But yeah, be careful. All right. One more question, and then we'll get started. Looking through. Straight Jacket said, where do we go after full stack JavaScript? To your new job. Or wherever else you want to go. Once you have one programming language underneath your belt, right? It's really easy to pick up other languages, and you got to learn some new things, some new methods, some different styles of doing stuff. But it's not rocket surgery. Once you kind of learn the basics. Variables are variables, conditionals are conditionals, loops are loops, functions are functions. Yeah, each language might implement them differently. There might be differences like typing or anything like that, but overall the core stays the same, and so you can pick up stuff pretty quickly. The really cool thing about JavaScript though is you can use it pretty much anywhere. You can use JavaScript in the browser, obviously. You can use it on your desktop through things like Electron, which like if you're using Atom or I think VS Code 2, they're really just JavaScript apps that are packaged for the desktop. You can use React Native to build mobile apps on Android and iOS. So with JavaScript, you can do a lot. I have a microcontroller in my closet somewhere that runs JavaScript as well, so I can build robots with JavaScript. So I like JavaScript as a first language because there's a lot of job availability, but it's really flexible. You can do a lot with it. Once you kind of learn JavaScript, most folks will try and pick up a different language, maybe Python or something else, just to round out their tool belt to be helpful. All right. I have been working on t-shirts. I have been working on merch stuff. Cause I want a 100 devs hoodie. That's like hashtag 100 devs across the hoodie. So I have been working on that. When we come back for 100 devs, there are gonna be so many changes to the channel. It's gonna be wild. We're gonna have so many things set up, moderators, like all this stuff that I think that I've learned that we need. And so I'm working on that to get all that incorporated. So there'll be a lot of fun stuff when we come back. All right, let's get to it, folks. I want to talk very quickly about next steps. I'm going to kill the music for right now. So next, I did say hashtag instead of Octothorpe. Miss Turner got him. So 100 Devs is the next bootcamp we'll be running. It's a full stack web development bootcamp. If you want to learn more about 100 Devs or participate in it, all the things you need to know about how to apply, you can do !100 devs in chat, and then I'll link you to the blog post that has everything that you need to apply. Over the next month, we're really going to make things a lot better, right? I'm improving my stream quality a lot. Now that I've moved, I can get all my lights where they need to be. I have a better camera. I have everything set up. My computer's gonna be all set up. So we got that coming. We will have better Discord organization. Right now, we got 800 plus people in the Discord channel. It's starting to get a little wild. We're going to add more moderation. We're going to kind of make sure that certain channels aren't getting flooded. We're going to point people to the right direction. So that's something that I know I've been wanting to work on for a while. We have a lot of fun stuff. The Minecraft server should be up this weekend. So a lot of stuff that I think will help improve the community and get us ready for 100 Devs is coming. If there's something that you think you would like to see, something that's missing that you think would benefit us in the community, go ahead and hit me up on Discord. I would love to hear kind of some of your thoughts. Cool. Alrighty, folks. Tonight, let's talk about what we're going to talk about. So tonight is all about arrays. Okay. We're going to review functions and loops. We're going to then learn what arrays are and how to use them. We're going to talk about how to iterate through arrays. We're going to learn some other methods that are tied to arrays. And then we are going to have a little bit of homework that's for objects. We're at 26,000 channel points. If we get to 30,000, we'll have a whole class on objects. All right. So I have one question before we get started. Okay. One question before we get started. The first person to put into Twitch chat this answer gets immediate acceptance into 100 devs. Okay. Spliff already said The Bachelor. That's funny. The question is, name all 5 Bring It On movies in Twitch chat. First person to name all 5 in Twitch chat gets immediate acceptance in 100 devs. Go ahead. I'll wait. If you've already downloaded the starter code, ooh, Bring It On. All right. M code 913 got Bring It On again, Bring It On All or Nothing, Bring It On In It to Win It, Bring It On Fight to the Finish, and Bring It On World Cheer Smack for the win. M code 913, message me here on Twitch. That way I know it's you. And then send me a reminder on Discord. You just earned yourself a ticket into 100 devs. Well done. Well done. I don't know how they got that done that fast. That was really impressive. That was a Google foo, I hope. 99 devs, Omar said. Yeah, Wikipedia. Dope. All right, that was funny. See, it pays to pay attention. I did rattle off all the Bring It On movies last class. All right, let's do a little bit of review first. I want to review the basics of programming. I want to review functions, loops, arrays, loops, variables, and conditionals quickly. We have a little bit of starter code to do, and then we'll get into learning about arrays. Tonight's class should go a little bit shorter, just because it's a smaller topic that I wanted to cover tonight. And so let's get into it. Golden rule of programming is a computer will do what you tell it to do, right? A program is a simple set of instructions that you write to tell a computer what to do, right? So if you think about wanting to write a program, what you're really doing is writing instructions that a computer can understand. So programming is writing those instructions in a language that the computer can understand, right? Program, set of instructions. Programming, writing those instructions in a language that the computer can understand. Now, this is going to be very valuable depending on if it's aliens or robots. If it's aliens, we're going to need to know how to program to defeat their motherships. If it's robots, we're going to want to program to be nice to us. So either way, robots or aliens, it's a win-win for us. All right. We're talking about JavaScript. JavaScript has a specific syntax, which is the spelling and grammar rules, the punctuation that makes up the language, right? And so what we've been learning over the past couple classes are all of those little rules that we need to know to write in a language that we as humans can understand, but then that language can be broken down into something the computer can understand and can follow those instructions to get the stuff that we want to have happen done. Okay, so we learned about a few things that we're going to review right now. We learned about variables. What are variables? Chat, Twitch chat. What are variables? Somebody tell me what a variable is. Data buckets. I love it. Knocked. Karma, buckets. Container for a value. I like it. Yeah. I like to think of them as buckets. They are containers for a value for sure. They're where we're going to store information to be used later on, right? So the first step whenever we're talking about variables is declaration. Like we're going to create that bucket that we're going to put data in. So in our declaration step, we go ahead and create a bucket called age, right? Then on the next step, our assignment, we put a value inside of that bucket. Boom. That's really bad 5. I apologize. Blame the nuns. We can do both of those steps at the same time, right? We can create the space of memory called age and assign it the value of 25 all in the same go. Okay. So variables are just entities we use to store values for later on. We can use variables all throughout our programs to hold values, place values somewhere else, but it just enables us to remember things for use later on. Cool. Ooh, we're 1,000 points away from that community goal, folks. 1,000 points away. We also learned about conditionals. Conditionals enable us to make decisions. Woo! Hey, we did it. Well done, everybody. Well done. Community goal has been reached. What is that? We're 26 minutes in. Well done. Well done, everybody. That's awesome. Man, this is one of the best things. I love these community goals. We hit them so quick. It was 30,000 points. Wow. Thank you, everybody. So we're going to have another class. This doesn't have to end. The train continues, folks. We'll do another class on objects next week. So next week we'll have class on objects. Dope. That class is going to be really fun. I've already been working on it. We're going to learn what objects are. We're going to do some really fun stuff. We're going to talk to NASA. We're going to get pictures from the Hubble telescope. We're going to find all of NASA's locations. We're going to do some fun stuff. So that class is going to be really fun. I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm happy that we made it. Congrats, everyone. That's awesome. Studios already gave me the posture check. Nice. All right. Thank you for the posture check. All right. Back's in the chair right. Feet on the ground right. Fingers all in. Nice. We talked about conditionals. And conditionals are just ways of making decisions or doing things based on if a value is true or not. So here is a pretty standard conditional syntax. We have our if, and if what is inside the parentheses is true, then we'll do what is inside of the curly braces. Okay. So if what is inside the parentheses is true, we'll do what's inside the curly braces, and then we stop. We stop. But if what was inside the parentheses was false, right? If what was in there was false, then we move on to the else if, and we'll check this condition. If it's true, we do what's inside the curly braces and we stop. But if the if is false, the else if is false, our else can automatically run. Okay? Now, an else doesn't need a condition that it checks. It just runs if all the checks above it were false. And you don't even need an else. You can just have if. You can have if and a bunch of else ifs. But an else is a default. If everything else above it is false, then the else will run. You can also have as many else ifs as you want. Cool. What is the danger here when we're doing conditionals? What is the danger of assignment versus comparison? What's that danger that we're worried about? Welcome back, Avatar. Good to see you. Yeah, it's if we use one equal sign, we're actually going to reassign something. We're going to try and reassign a variable. But if we have 2 or 3 equal signs, we're doing comparison. 2 equal signs is comparison in what, chat? 2 equal signs is comparison in what? What are we comparing when we say 2 equal signs? Well, that's a harder one. It's a harder question. Ooh, got it. Knocked it out the park. Straight jacket in there right after. Omar. Yeah. When it's 2 equal signs, we're comparing value. And chat, what about when we have 3 equal signs? What are we comparing with 3 equal signs, chat? Whew. Knock's on fire tonight. Value and type. Exactly. When we have 3 equal signs, it's value and type. Like, is it a string? Is it a number? Is it a Boolean? Is it something else? And value, is it the same value? So 2 equal signs just in value, 3 equal signs value and type. Important to remember. 1 equal sign, assignment, and it's going to get you in trouble. We can have multiple conditions. So if your name equals Leon, check. And status equals ballin', check. You wink at the camera. And if that wink did something for you folks, only 1 million channel points for my OnlyFans. For 1 million channel points, you get access to my OnlyFans. There you go. I really hope that one day, years in the future, when we're on 10,000 devs, right? Somebody redeems that. All right. So that's multiple conditions. Both must be true for that value to run. We could also have or. So if day equals Saturday or day equals Sunday, then we do what's inside the curly braces. In this instance, only one has to be true. This could be true and this false, or the opposite, this true and this false, and it will still run. And you need both or just one or the other. All right. What are functions, chat? Chat, what are functions? What are functions? Yeah, they're sets of instructions. Nice. Cross came in first with that one. Functions are sets of instructions, right? They're simple sets of instructions. They're typically, they should be reusable. If you're following best practices, they only really do one action, and they're the basic building blocks of all of our programs, okay? We use functions all the time. As humans, we use functions all the time. We just don't know it, right? When we say soak, chop, cook, we know what that means. We know what those instructions mean, and we can reuse those functions over and over again. Cool. Alyssa said my P's. All right, here's a function. Here is the function declaration, meaning the function that is the set of instructions. And then here is the function call. Functions will not run until you call them. When you call a function, you can pass in arguments, and arguments can fall into parameters. And then anywhere inside this function, you can use those parameters to get things done. Okay. Omar. Oh no, the link's wrong. One second. Let me update the link. What did I do? One second. I'm going to update the link for everyone. I keep a window open for this now because I'm so bad at remembering it. 1 second, and the slides will be updated. Here's the slides for everyone. Oh, Alyssa. Oh my God. Alyssa's amazing. Already got it done. Let me update the command. Cool. All right. So the command should be updated now, and Alyssa was 2 steps ahead. Awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So you're back in it. So here's a function. Chat. What is this? What's that, chat? Yeah, it's a function call. Nice. Cool. What is this, chat? An argument. Nice. Izzy got it first. Well done, Izzy. Well done. Cool. Lucky Monkey had the function and the argument. Nice. All right. How about this, chat? What's that? What I just circled? Alyssa got it before I even circled it. Nice. Doc came in. Straight jacket. Nice. Okayla. Nice. Yeah, it's a parameter. Well done. Well done. And here's a tricky one. Let's do this. What did I just circle here? What did I circle there, chat? Yeah, knocked it out the park. That's another function call. Now, did we write that function? No, that function's built into JavaScript, but it is calling it. It is calling that alert function. So that is a function call. Nice. We need a knocked emote. I love it. Cool. What are loops, chat? What do loops enable us to do? Yo, straight jacket with the great answer. So repeated block of code. I love it. Enables us to repeat sets of instructions. Nice. Enables us to do something over and over again. David said 21 savage. Yes, 21, 21, 21. Dope. All right. Loops enable us to repeat an action. There are three main types of loops in JavaScript: for, while, and do while. There are other looping mechanisms built into JavaScript, though. We're going to see those today, like for each, map, some other things that enable us to move through or loop through content when it deals with arrays. And each loop determines a different way to start and end. Hey, Rossi, thanks for the cheers. I appreciate that. 100 bits. Thank you. As always, folks, all of the donations, Twitch primes, donation cheers, all that stuff, subs, that all goes to a nonprofit coding bootcamp called Resilient Coders, where I work during the day. So I appreciate that. We're at like $200 raised for our Resilient Coders already, which is wild to me. As always, all my content will always be free for life, forever. None of this is required or even is asked. I'll never ask you for it. But if you feel the need to, and you feel like you want to, everything that you sub, prime sub, cheer, all of that goes to Resilient Coders as a donation. So thank you, everybody. That's $200 already. That's going to help cover one of the stipends for our students. That's great. All right. Here's a for loop. For loop has a very specific set of syntax here, right? So this syntax, we start off with declaring a counter, something that's going to keep track, right? Going to keep track of our, of our counter, like something we're going to use to keep track of how many times we've looped. Then we say how long we want this to loop for. And then we say what we want to have happen to that counter at the end of each cycle. So in this case, what we're going to have is we're going to have a loop that runs 1, 2, 3, 4 times and then stops because it'll be at 4. And then 4 is less than 5. But when we add 1 to 4, we wind up with 5. And then 5 is not less than 5. So this loop will stop. Okay. So we can go from 1 to any number we want here. But the for loop is pretty straightforward. You set your counter, you set your end condition, and you set your increment, like how much you're going to go up by each time. And so last class, what we did is we, instead of incrementing it by 1, we incremented it by 3. And so that was cool to see that you can not just have an incrementer of 1, but you can keep going up as much as you want. Cool. All right. Let's look at a while loop. So here's a while loop. While loop is similar, right? Except that we declare our counter outside of the loop here. And this will do the exact same thing. It will print that counter each time, but each time this runs, it'll go up by 1 inside. And so what's going to happen is this will run the first time and it'll console log 0. Then it'll add 1, and then 1 is less than 5, so it'll run again. And then we'll see 1 printed to the console. We'll add 1, we'll be at 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. And then what's going to happen is we add 1 to 4, we're at 5. And then 5 is not less than 5, so this loop stops. All right? This stops. All right. Knocked, yes, JavaScript does have do while as well. Chat, what's the thing we have to be careful of when we're doing our loops? MJ Untitled, thanks for the hydrate. Cheers to you. Thank you. Yeah, chat. The thing we have to be worried about when we're doing loops is that our loops can be infinite, meaning that they'll never stop. And eventually, since it keeps going and going, our computers will get slower and slower as it consumes our RAM to do the processing. And eventually our computer is going to keel over and have to be restarted. Chrome puts some blockers of this in now, but for a long time, you could stop somebody's computer from running just with an infinite loop. Many a programmer has accidentally created an infinite loop and boop, their computer has to restart. So be careful when you're writing your loops, make sure that you're not creating an infinite loop. All right. We have some starter code to work through, some coding challenges to get through. If you go ahead and open up the Bring It On All or Nothing set of code, that's what we're going to get started with. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and open it up real quick. Inside of here, inside the JavaScript file, there is a set of comments for the things that I would like for you to work on. We're going to go ahead and put a little bit more time than usual on this because there is a question at the end that's a little bit difficult if you've never seen it before. Is a very famous coding problem called FizzBuzz. So I'm going to let's put 7 minutes on the clock. And then we're going to go over this together. So 7 minutes on the clock. Go ahead. If you have questions, I'll answer questions. I'm going to bring back some vibes here. And then we'll go over it together. So if you have questions, go ahead and ask questions. We're going to keep working on this together. I'm going to look through what folks have been asking. DN Bull said, hey, Leon, are you using an iPad to draw on the screen? Yes, I am. An iPad and a couple of apps to make it work. Flower Bomb said, is there a command to download this? Yes, there is. If you do !Discord, that'll get you links to our Discord community. Once you agree to the rules, there will be a follow along materials channel where you can get the zip file with all the starter code for today. So go ahead and check that out. Download the material, start working on it. If you would like the slides, !Slides in the chat will give you access to our slides. They do auto advance. So as I move through the slides, they move for you. If you don't like that auto advance, you can just chop off the /live and have the slides underneath your command. Number said, yeah, FizzBuzz, I remember that one. Yeah, it's a super famous problem. So that's why we're going to go over it tonight. It's a fun one. Generosa, glad to have you. Glad it's your first time here. Thanks for stopping by. So for folks that are new, we've been doing a free coding bootcamp for those affected by the pandemic. This was going to be our last class, but we just hit a community goal. It was a 30,000 channel points community goal for one more class, which is a class all about objects. So we'll have that class next Tuesday. It's going to be a really fun class. We're going to do lots of fun stuff. We're going to get data from NASA. We're going to build some fun things with objects. So definitely check that out. If you're new, go ahead and give us a follow. That way more folks can see us online here on Twitch. We're going to go ahead and be following this up with a new program called 100 Devs. It's going to be everything you need to go from kind of zero technical skills all the way to employable. Applications are open for that right now. You can do !100 devs in Twitch chat, and that'll get you access to a blog post that tells you how to register for that. Everything is always 100% free. I'll never release a course or anything that's behind a paywall. So all this content is for y'all. Nabs, you apply? That's great to hear about it. Numbers said, have you heard of Code Foundry? I have, but I don't know too much. Nabs, we are going to keep the applications open for a little bit more than a week, so like another week or so, and then I'm going to start letting folks know then. There have been a lot of applications, going to take me a while to get through all that stuff, so we're looking for like another 2 weeks before you might even hear something back. Yeah. We still have a lot of folks that have started applications, but are still working on the videos, things like that. So it'll be a little while, but we'll be right back with it. Yeah, don't forget to send the videos. Oh, that's awesome. That's good to hear, Numbers. Good luck. Let us know if we can be of help. Always feel free to use our Discord to get help as you're working through stuff. You got it. Alrighty, folks. We got about 3 minutes and 20 seconds left. Dig deep, go hard. A lot of work to get through here. I know the last one's a little difficult, so if we don't get to that one, that's totally okay. That was kind of like a harder bonus challenge that we'll go through together. Alyssa had to tell your brother to email you since he couldn't do a video. Yeah. Make sure he reaches out. Oops, my bad, bruh. Is an infinite loop simpler to a Stack Overflow? Yeah, technically, right? Like eventually you run out of space, right? Run out of memory and everything kind of falls apart. Big Nash said, can I just use a stuffed animal for my video so I don't have to show my face? It's worth a try. Better than no video, right? Anvi said, in one function, can we both have both a conditional and a loop? Absolutely. You can have as many things as you want in a function. Typically, a function does one action, but the steps to complete that action can be pretty varied or long. Alrighty, folks. 2 minutes left. Thank you for digging deep, going hard, working at the end of the day or beginning of the day, depending where you are. If you got questions, happy to answer questions while we're kind of waiting. If you manage to finish this, I don't think you'll finish it, but if you manage to finish it, put done in Twitch chat for me. There's a lot to get through. I know this was a long one. Hey, Straight Jacket, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. That means a lot. Thank you for the sub. All the subs, cheers, donations, all that stuff is a donation to a nonprofit called Resilient Coders. We're a free nonprofit stipended bootcamp for folks of color in the Boston area. So all the subs, Twitch Prime, cheers. Thank you, Alyssa. I really appreciate that. All that goes to them. Number said, is there any good places to practice databases? Code School has a really good class on SQL. Typically, folks can start there. If you tell me what kind of database and what you want to use it for, I can give you a better recommendation. You can ask me a question on Discord. We have a new Ask Leon channel. So for any of the questions that you need like a little bit longer of an answer, feel free to ask there and I'll put some time into the answer. I do know there's 2 of them in there right now. So once class is over, I'm going to spend some time kind of digging through that channel and answer the questions that are there. Yeah, number, send me up on Discord. I can definitely send some recommendations your way. Omar said, hey Leon, how can I get my text to wrap in Atom? There is a command in Atom to do it. So from Atom, you have to go to View, and then View. Underneath View, there's Toggle Soft Wrap. When you turn on Toggle Soft Wrap, that's what will make it show up for you and go to the next line. All right, folks, we just hit the 7-minute mark. Congratulations. We had some folks finish. Oh my gosh, what? Oh, Kayla got it done and Karma got it done. Well done. That was wild. That's a lot to get done. All right, folks. Let's take a look at these solutions together. Ooh, Knock got it done. Chat Sweets got it done. Straight Jacket got it done. Wow, that's wild. This is a long one. This is a hard one. I didn't think people were going to get it done, but you did. Congrats. That's good. You should be proud of yourself. That's awesome. All right. We have a lot of followers today. Thank you for the follows, everyone. Not really sure what's going on, but good to see everyone. Almost at the point where I think we're being like botted with followers somehow, but we'll see. All right. Karma, you're familiar with FizzBuzz. Okay, that makes sense. Makes the last one a little bit easier. All right, let's do this, folks. Let's get into it. Declare a variable, assign it a Boolean, and alert the value. All right, so let's go ahead and declare a variable. I'm going to use let. Let's call it new val, just like a new var, just so it's easy to see it. And then we're going to assign it a Boolean. What's a Boolean, chat? What's a Boolean? I think the robot saw my question. I think when we asked robots or aliens and everyone said robots, I think the robots agreed and they were like, oh my gosh, this is our people. We want to help them. We want to support them. So we're going to viewbot them with followers. It's not view bots. Views are normal, but the following is definitely bots. There's no way, unless maybe all the people that are, maybe they save the following until you're live. We've had a lot of people follow because they're doing the challenges to sign up for 100 dev, but this is a little wild. We might have to turn these off in a second. Yeah, it's true false values, right? Well done, chap. So we'll go ahead, we declare it a variable. We're going to assign it a value as a Boolean, and then we're going to alert it. So I'm going to go to my next line and I'm going to do alert, and we'll do new var. Cool. Alrighty, there we go. First one done. Next one, declare a variable, reassign it to your favorite color, and console log the value. So let's go ahead and do let new, well, let's do fave color. Fave color equals, and we'll start off with purple. All right, reassign it to your favorite color. So fave color is going to be, let's say green. Green may or may not be my favorite color. Who knows? But we'll pretend that it is for now. And then we want to console log that value. So we'll do log. Remember the shortcut, you just type log and then hit tab, it'll do console log for you. And we'll console log fave color. Cool. Chat, were you able to get the first two done? Were you able to get the first two done, chat? Nice, that's good to see. Awesome. Well done, everyone. All right, let's look at these next ones. Functions. Create a function that takes in 4 numbers and returns the sum of the first 3 numbers divided by the fourth. Return the result and call the function. So let's go ahead and create a function. We'll call take 4. There we go. Not the best function name, but we'll take it. We'll do n1, n2, n3, and n4, short for num1, num2, num3, num4. I don't want to have to keep typing it all out, but there we go. And let's go ahead and do what it asks. We're going to return. So we're going to do our return. And we're going to do the sum of the first 3 numbers. So n1 plus n2 plus n3. And then divide it by the 4th number, which is n4. There we go. So that's running the function. And then let's go ahead and call the function. Take 4. And let's pass in 4 numbers. Let's go 3, 4, 5. And 6. There we go. So that takes in 4 numbers, adds the first 3, and then divides the 4th. We might give us a little bit of PEMDAS protection here and wrap these in a parentheses just to be sure. Oh, Alyssa had it all right. Yeah, there you go. Nice. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Create a function that takes in 2 numbers. Console log the first number to the power of the second and call the function. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's create a function. We're going to call it power. Cool. And it's going to take in 2 numbers. So we'll say num1 and num2. And then it wants us to console log. And how did y'all do this, chat? How did you get 1 number to the power of the second? What did y'all do? Yeah, math.pow. Nice. Nice. Math.pow is what I can do. There's also some fancy ones. I saw the double multiply. That's true. Let's use math.pow. And we can do n1, n2. There we go. Nice. There's also the hack, which is the, well, not the hack, but a double multiply. Let me see if I can turn off the alerts real quick. Let's see. I'm gonna turn off music too. I don't want to turn off all the alerts because then I won't see subs or cheers or stuff like that. Hope it's not too annoying. Let's go ahead and, there we go. That'll stop it for now. All right, there we go. So that I turned off the alert, so I apologize if you sub or cheer. I might not 100% see it, especially with all of the follows coming in. So I apologize if I miss anything. I appreciate it. I appreciate you giving the donation, but I'm going to turn them off for now, so that way we don't have that bothering people as they're trying to learn. All right. The funny thing is, as soon as I turned off the the alerts, like, our view count dropped a little bit. That's interesting. Mohammed, I appreciate the hydrations. Cheers to you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Alyssa. I appreciate it. All right. Let's look at the next one. Create a function that takes in a Boolean and a string. If the Boolean is true, alert the string. If the Boolean is false, console log the string. Ooh. Just please give me a posture check. I think that's a good one. I need a little bit of posture check here. Yeah, I don't get the follow botting. That's weird to me. I don't get why you would do that. Like, that doesn't do anything, right? I don't know. Thank you, please. I appreciate that. Good. I feel like I'm centered again. All right. Create a function that takes in a Boolean and a string. So let's create a function, and we'll call it check bool. Cool. And then we're going to see if it takes in a Boolean and a string. So we'll keep this as B and S. BS. And then we're going to do a conditional here. So if, and the funny thing is, we can just take the Boolean in, right? So we don't have to do B equals true. Because remember, whatever this evaluates to, if it's true, it runs. If it's false, it doesn't. Okay? So I can just literally type in B here. And that's a nice little hack, because if it's true, like if the Boolean is true, it'll just run. If it's false, it won't. So that's pretty cool. And so then we'll just have our else here. And so if the Boolean is true, we will alert S. And if it was false, we will log it. There we go. That's pretty neat. I like that. Oh, there you go. Bilal's baby's trying to code. I love it. Next Zuckerberg in the making. Well, not Zuckerberg, but like a really good coder. Let's just say that. Really good coder in the making. All right, let's do the next one. All right, the last one was a little bit more. Yeah, I reined that back. I was like, no, we don't want another Zuck. We want a really great coder though. All right, create a function that takes in a number, console log all the values from 1 to that number. But if that number is divisible by 3, log fizz instead of that number. If the number is divisible by 5, log buzz instead of that number. And if the number is divisible by 3 and 5, log FizzBuzz instead of that number. Okay, so this is a very common interview problem. For a while, everyone asked this problem. And then hiring managers and people that are doing interviews, they stopped asking the question because everyone was asking. And then maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, it came back with a vengeance because everybody was like, wait a minute. If they can't solve this problem, 1, they're probably not at the level to code yet at this company. And 2, they did absolutely nothing to prepare for this interview, because any prep that you do will include FizzBuzz. And so that's why I wanted to throw this out here. The first time you see it, it's a little tricky. It's a little hard to understand what's going on. But once you see it, I hope that you remember it. I hope that you put it in your Anki. I hope that you practice it, because it will come up in interviews. I normally keep track of who gets asked this when my students graduate. And out of every cohort, always at least 2 people get FizzBuzz or a FizzBuzz-like problem every single time my cohort graduates and starts applying to jobs. So it's still out there, folks. All right, create a function first. We're going to create a function. We're going to call it FizzBuzz. Cool. And it's going to take in a number. So we'll call it num1 or n1. And then we're going to need a way to print all the numbers from 1 to that value. So chat, what am I going to need to print all the numbers between 1 and the value that was passed in? What am I going to need? Knocked, a loop, Karma a loop. Nice. Muhammad a loop. Numbers with a loop. MJ title with a loop. Nice. All right. So let's go ahead and do that loop. So I'm going to do a for. Could have done a bunch of other types of loops, but for I think is a little bit easy to follow along, a little bit easier to see. I'm going to create a counter. I'm going to call it I, just short for increment. Takes up a little bit less space. And I'm going to start it at 1. And I'm going to say, let's do this loop until while I is less than or equal to n1, right? I want it to be equal to n1 because I still want to show that number. And I want to go up by 1 every single time. So I'm going to do plus plus. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to do a series of conditionals here to check to see if the number is divisible by another. How can I check to see if one number is divisible by another? Chat, how could I do that? How could I check to see if one number is divisible by another? Erica with the percent. Nice. Or Erica M car. Nice with the percent. We don't call it percent though. We call it modulus, right? So it's modulus. It is the modulus, which is the percent sign, right? Cool. So we can do our conditional. And one of the tricks here is that a lot of people want to start off with checking for 3 or checking for 5. The problem with that, however, is that you'll wind up never being able to get to 3 and 5. So you always want to start off with the 3 and 5 check, right? You can do it as 15 or you can do it as 3 and 5. I'm going to show you an and just so we can throw it in there. And so thank you for the hydration. Cheers to you. Thank you very much. Thank you. That was a good one. I was a little parched. Thank you. All right, so let's go ahead and throw that in here. Let's do the 3 and 5 check. So we'll say if num1, if I, because we want it, num1 is where we're going to stop. I is what's going to grow every single time this runs. So we're going to see if I mod, and we'll say 3. If that equals 0, I know that whatever the number was went evenly by 3. So it would be divisible by 3. So I'm going to check for 3, and then I'm going to check for 5. So I'm going to say I mod again, but this time I'm going to say 5. And if it equals 0, I know that it was, not and, or. Cool. There we go. So what I'm saying here is if whatever the number currently is, if that number is divisible by 3, it is and, Jesus, sorry. My bad, folks. Long day. If this number is divisible by 3 and it's divisible by 5, right? We want to do FizzBuzz to the chat, right? You want to do FizzBuzz to the console. So instead of printing that number, we'll print FizzBuzz. Sorry about that. So we'll do console log, and we're going to put FizzBuzz. Whoop. Nice. Then we're going to check for 3, and then we'll check for 5. Okay, so we'll have an else if. And we'll go ahead and do, let's say, let's do 3, mod 3. If that equals 0, then we will log to the console, fizz. We'll do another else if. And if it is now mod 5, if that equals 0, then we'll do fizz. We'll do fizz. And then we'll do buzz. All right. There we go. So far we have 3 checks. The first check is we're checking to see if it's divisible by 3 and 5. We got FizzBuzz. Then we're going to check to see if it's divisible by 3, because if it is, we want to do Fizz. And then we're going to check to see if it's divisible by 5, because if it is, we want to do Buzz. So we have all of our checks. The only thing that we're missing, though, is that we want to log the current number if it's not divisible by 3 or 5 or 3 and 5. So let's go ahead and throw an else in here. And let's go ahead and just log I. There we go. So what this should do now is we should be able to pass in a number. This should loop all the way to that number. And in the console, we should see either that number, FizzBuzz, Fizz, or Buzz. All right, so let's go ahead and just try this real quick. Let's go ahead and copy it. And I'm going to go to my browser real quick here. And go to console. And let's go ahead and paste this in. All right, so here's our lovely FizzBuzz being pasted in here. My head's in the way. Whoop. It's not let me, oh, because it's the function. Hold on. Let me just run it from the file. So let's go ahead and call the function here. I'm going to call FizzBuzz. And we're going to pass in, let's pass in 30, just so we get it. Okay. Let me save it. And then I'm going to open this and run it. Open in the browser. Let's look at the inspector. Let's look at the console. And we can see the code was running here. I got to get my head out the way. So we got from our top example, so that wasn't part of the loop. But then we got 1, 2, Fizz, 4, Buzz, Fizz, 7, 8, Fizz, Buzz, 11, Fizz, 13, 14, and then finally FizzBuzz. The first FizzBuzz, right, would be 15. That's the first number that's divisible by 3 and 5, right? So that's where we get the FizzBuzz from. Cool. So let's just look at it one more time, because I want folks to be able to see this when they see it in an interview and not be so scary. All right. So what we have here is we have a function. That function's taking in one number. We're going to have a loop that's going to go from 1 to that number. But at any point as we're looping, we're going from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. As we're looping, if that number is divisible by 3, we want to print Fizz instead of that number. If the number is divisible by 5, we want to print Buzz instead of that number. If it's divisible by 3 and 5, we want to print FizzBuzz instead of that number. And if it's not divisible by any of those, we just want to print the number. So it combines everything we've talked about so far. It was a function, a loop, and a conditional. And when we combine our powers together, we get Captain Planet, or in this case, FizzBuzz, a very common answer to a very common interview problem. Okay. We're at a little over an hour, about an hour and 10 minutes. What I would love to do is to take a break here. I want to take our 5-minute break as normal. I want you to go stretch, to hydrate, to do what you got to do, and then come back in 5 minutes, and we're going to keep pushing on, and we're going to start learning about arrays. Okay. So I hope this wasn't a little too much for your brain, but that's why we're going to take the break right now. I really would like for you all, though, to come back to this on your own time, work through this. This really is a very common problem, and it combines everything that we've talked about. So if you got to rewatch this on YouTube, please do. If you can't code this out right now, that's okay. I want you to practice it, though. Get the syntax down. This has all the goodies in it. So come back to it, okay? Let's put 5 minutes on our timer. We'll bring back the vibes. Remember to hydrate, take your break, stretch your hands, take care of yourself. I'll see you in 5 minutes. Let's go ahead and bring the music back. So the and is for when you want to check for both of them. So in this case, we're checking to make sure it's divisible by 3 and 5. So we need the and. When I messed up, I did the double pipe character, which is or. We don't want to use or here because if we use or, it's only going to look for one of them. But in this case, to get FizzBuzz, we need to check for both. Whoo, Kayla with the big redemption. 7,500 micro leons for that custom learning plan. Okayla, I know you on Discord, so go ahead and ping me on Discord and say learning plan, and then we'll grab a time to talk through a custom learning plan. Nice. That's the first one. That's the first custom learning plan. That's awesome. Congrats. Putting them to good use. How many classes I wonder that took? That must have took every class so far. Well done, well done. Okay, there we go. I gotta be careful. I gotta like set like number of redemptions per stream or something. Kato just saving up for the OnlyFans. Nice. Yeah, I'm afraid like one day like 1 million people are gonna redeem something, so I gotta figure out if there's like I gotta figure out timings and stuff like that. Like I don't want to be slammed doing something like just hydrating. Like the whole stream is just me hydrating. I don't even write any code. I just drink the whole time. Can we start with divisible by 3, then 5, and last by both, and still get the same result? No. The reason why you won't get the same result is because if you check for 3, it's going to stop at fizz, and then that's it. You'll never get to FizzBuzz, right? If you check for 5 first before you check for both, it'll just stop there when it's divisible by 5. The only way that you can check for both is if you do it first. Yeah, that's a great question. What would the recursive version of this iterating function look like? So with recursive, recursive is like a function that calls itself. And there is a recursive way to solve this. You want to go down to like a base scenario and then build up from that base scenario. We could build one out. Diabolical, hit me up on Discord. I can share a solution there for you. Spliffgates, can the final boss block of code in the bootcamp be called "Bring It On World Cheer Smack"? Oh boy, are you ready? If you look through the starter materials for today, you will see that is already the last mega question. There's one question at the end, and it's inside the "Bring It On World Cheer Smack" question, so it's already there. Just please, the custom learning plan is where I sit down with you, we talk about your goals. And based on those goals, I build out a lesson plan for you. Things you should learn week to week, things that you're gonna need to get help with, things that you should learn, and we'll build it up so that it ties specifically to what you want. Do you wanna get a job? Do you wanna learn Python? Do you wanna learn JavaScript? Whatever you need a custom learning plan for, I'll help you put one together. Cross said, "Bring it on 100 devs versus robots versus aliens." Yeah, that's our like direct to DVD movie, right, folks? Mine's definitely saving up those micro leons. Nice. I'd watch that. I would too. I think it'd be boss. I really like not even B movies, but like C movies. Like really campy C movies are my jam. 100 devs upload boom. There you go. What would our class movie be called? That'd be really funny. What's our stream movie? Diabolical said, "What do you think is the best second language to learn to supplement full stack JavaScript?" Entirely depends on what you want to do. If I wanted something that just had a lot of utility, it'd be Python. If I wanted something that was a little bit lower level language, C++ maybe. Depends really, but it really depends on what you want to do and what your goals are. They're all different tools on your tool belt, right? So once you learn one language, you can pick up other languages, and so don't be afraid to start with something and pick something up later. Alrighty, folks, welcome back. Come on back. let's get back to it. A lot of fun stuff to cover. We're going to get into arrays. Come on back, everyone. Mind if we can do a tribute to Michael Scott's doctoral debut. I love it. Learn with Leon 2, Electric Boogaloo. Is Python easy to pick up after JavaScript? Yes. Does things a little bit differently. White space matters, but outside of that, it's a pretty easy language to pick up. A bad movie night every Friday. That's dope, Arasi. We can do, there are like viewing parties now on Twitch. I would love, so when 100 Dev starts up, I want to do like fun stuff. So like we're going to have class 2 to 3 times a week, right? Office hours at least once a week. And I want to have like a gaming night or like something fun to like get the whole community together. So I think a watch party would be a fun one to do one day. We can watch all of the Bring It On series. That'd be great. And we could all order Domino's. There we go. All right, folks, let's get back to it. Let's jump to the slides. We're going to talk about arrays. All right, let me kill the music here. All right, welcome back, everyone. Let's get into it. What are arrays? So before I answer what arrays are, I want to give an example that I like to think about with arrays. Arrays are really just collections, right? And so I like to give this example. Now, I just moved into my place. Flower Bomb said, first time here, just wanted to say I love the curls. Thank you, Flower. I appreciate that. I like to think of a toaster. Now, before I moved, I had a pretty good toaster. 4 slots, took in bagels. It was a nice toaster, right? If I, however, went to 50 Cent's house, 50 Cent has like a ballin' toaster. It's going to be like 10 slots. It can take bagels. It can take pastries. It can take toaster strudels. It can really put whatever you want into that toaster, right? And it has a lot of slots. So it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter what you put in there. It can take in whatever it wants, right? However, if we went to Bill Gates' house, we know that Bill Gates has a toaster that just like would blow our minds, right? It's a toaster. It looks like a 4-slot toaster. But whenever you fill up those 4 slots, a new slot like opens. And so you can keep putting things into Bill Gates' toaster, right? It'll never stop. You can fill it up with whatever you want, right? And so the toaster would keep growing. And then this one toaster would be a collection of all of his breakfast foods, right? And you know he doesn't do Pop-Tarts. You know Bill Gates is a toaster strudels man through and through. So like the first few slots would be toaster strudel. The next few slots would be like really fancy French bread, right? What is pain? French bread. What is that from? Anybody know what that's from? Immediate micro Leon points for that. What is pain? French bread. Anybody? That's a good one. All right. So we have this idea. We're at Bill Gates' house. He has a really fancy toaster. First few are toaster strudel. The next are really fancy French bread, right? And whenever we fill up all the slots, there's another slot that opens, and it just keeps growing and growing. And so at the end, we're at Bill Gates' house. We just had our nice coffee, and there's just this massive toaster. It's a huge collection of all these different items. That's an array. An array is a data structure, like a way that we organize things. That's just a collection of other things, right? It can hold strings. It can hold booleans. It can hold numbers. An array can hold another array, but it's just a collection, okay? So whenever you think of arrays, you think toasters, but not my cheap ass toaster. And I love 50 Cent, but like no diss to him. I don't got no beef. Sorry, 50. His like bad toaster. No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about Bill Gates' toaster, an infinite collection that can add and it can toast whatever we want. Okay. He prefers grills anyway. That's hilarious, Gross. All right. Oh, hey, Durante, what's up? How you been? All right. So if we're going to get technical and we're going to say arrays are something other than toasters, okay? An array is a data structure, like a way to store ordered collections. The ordering here is important. If you did a little bit of reading about the objects, objects can also be a collection, but it's a keyed collection. This is different. This is a collection of items. The items are numbered by something called an index. And don't worry, we're going to cover all this stuff by something called an index. And the really nifty thing about arrays is that they come with a lot of built-in functions, we call them methods, that enable you to do really cool stuff. Okay? And they can be created two ways. Something called a constructor and something called literal notation. So this is like the fancy pants slide that gives the technical definitions, but we're going to break this down. I'm going to make sure we understand that. But all I want you to think of as an array is a collection that can hold everything we've talked about so far. It can hold numbers, it can hold strings, it can hold booleans, it can hold functions, it can even hold other arrays. Okay? All right. So the two ways to create an array. This is called an array constructor. Don't worry about this for right now. When we learn about objects, this is going to make a whole lot more sense. So there's one way to create an array. Here is using the constructor. But the way that you'll probably see it used most often and the way that we're going to start off by using it is something called literal notation. When you declare a new variable and assign it the value of those square brackets, you have created an array. Even if you don't put anything inside of it, it's still creating an array. So we call this literal notation. Okay. But can it hold toast? It's a very interesting question. So here is me. We already declared the array, right? Here is me assigning it some values. Okay. So this array has a string in it, a boolean in it, and a number in it. Okay. Now, this would be odd. This would be odd to see an array that had a bunch of different types in it, right? That would be odd. I think Bo in chat was talking about that. Normally you would see arrays that pretty much have the same stuff inside of them, but I wanted to show you all that it doesn't matter what type you have. You can store it in a collection that is known as an array, okay? So we have a bunch of different stuff here. We have strings, we have booleans, we have numbers, and they can all fit inside of one structure called an array, okay? So now we have our new array. And new array has string zebra in it, it has boolean true, and it has the number 21. All right. Something really important to remember is when you're creating an array using literal notation, which means using the square brackets, right? If you leave an empty space, that counts. There will be an empty element inside of this array. Okay. So be careful. If you're creating something and you put an empty space, that empty space will be part of the array. K-Cost, I think that needs to go on the t-shirt. How many have you got? A lot. Nice. All right. Here's the really tricky thing that gets a lot of folks off a little bit when they first start learning about arrays. Arrays can be accessed using something called an index. Okay. So when you're referring to an array and you want the first element out of the array, you don't use the number 1. You use the number 0. This is a very common theme in programming to start counting with 0 and not 1. And we're going to see that here with our arrays in JavaScript. So here I have an array, a toaster that has New York, LA, Sydney, and London in it. If I wanted New York out of this array, I would access the array via its 0 index. Okay. If I wanted London, I wouldn't use the number 4. I would use the number 3 because New York would be the 0th index, LA would be the 1st index, Sydney would be the 2nd index, and London would be the 3rd index. The problem that this can cause is that you're going to refer to the actual things inside of the array as elements. So New York, LA, Sydney, and London are all elements. Okay. So if I wanted the first element, I'm talking about New York, but I would use the 0th index. I know that melts your mind. Okay. That's a really hard thing to talk about. I want the first element, but the way I'm going to access it is not through the number 1, but the number 0. Because you have to separate the word element from index. New York is the first element, but its index is 0. Okay. LA is the second element, but its index is 1. Sydney is the third element, but its index is 2. And London is the fourth element, but its index is 3. I can't hear the word London and not hear on the track followed by it in my head. All right. Let's start looking at this because this can be tricky. All right. If I wanted to get zebra out of this array, all right? If I wanted zebra, remember this is a toaster. If I want the first toaster strudel in that toaster, right? And my toaster strudel has nice zebra icing on it, like zebra pattern icing. Look how I tied that in, folks. That's pro level teaching right there, right? We want the first toaster strudel out of the toaster that has our zebra striping icing. We would say new array 0. Give me the element that is at index 0 out of that array, out of that toaster, and that would give us zebra. Okay. If I asked for new array square brackets 1, I am going to grab this element here, which is an empty space. And what I would wind up with is I would get the value of undefined, meaning, hey, that space exists inside your collection, Leon, but it doesn't have a value, so we'll return undefined. Okay. If I want it true, that's at the 0, 1, 2 index. So I would say new array square brackets 2, and that would give me true. Okay. And then if I wanted the last item in this array, is at index 3. So new array 3, 0, 1, 2, 3 would give me the number 21. Okay. So it's tricky. We can access elements from the array using its index number, but always remember, chat, the indexes start with what number? Chat, I would just want to see a wall of this. What does an index always start counting at? I just want to, everyone in chat, you can type this answer. Everyone, I want to see a wall. Index starts counting at what? Bull's like, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. I'm not gonna follow the crowd and type the number. I'm gonna type the word, but it's still 0. Well done, everyone. Well done. 0. A wall of zeros. Thank you. I appreciate that. Indexes start at 0. Boom. Cool. Let's keep moving. Just like we can pull stuff out of the array with the index, we can put stuff into the array with the index. So here, 0, 1, 2, 3, we can see right now the first index is undefined. Right? Right now, that first index is undefined. But on this line of code, I'm going to target that first index in the new array and set it equal to Bob. So now, when I console log our array, we're going to see zebra, which was always there, Bob, which we just added, true, which was always there, and 21, which was always there. So the idea here is we can add stuff to the array. We can update anything we want in the array. So it doesn't have to be an empty space. If I wanted to change zebra to something else, I don't know why we'd ever do that, but if I wanted to change it to something else, I could select new array 0 and reassign that space inside of the array. It's like I take the toaster strudel out, throw it out, and put in a piece of bread, right? Alyssa said, wait, you never made the Bob community goal. It's coming. Next class, we'll have the Bob community goal. I wanted to do the object community goal first. Can we reassign in an array? Yes. Any element inside of the array can be reassigned with this same syntax. You target the array, you target the index, and you say what you want it to be equal to. You can change anything. If I wanted to change zebra, I would do new array 0 equals rhino. Right? That would work. Now our array would read rhino bob true 21. Okay. What if we want to put something into an array, but we don't know which position to put it in? That would kind of dictate what the purpose of the array was. You can always add stuff to an array and it doesn't matter. But if your array is like keeping track of something in order, then that would be a little bit different. We're going to see some methods at the end, and these methods are going to make it easy to add stuff to the beginning or end of the array. Okay, so we'll see that in a little bit. So you can just pop stuff into an array if you want to. Push stuff into an array if you want to. I'm going to add the alerts back because I think it's died down now. So I think we should be good. Cool. Alrighty, let's keep pushing, folks. I know if this is your first time, I hope you did the reading before coming to class. Reading is key. This shouldn't be hopefully the first time that you see this. Something interesting and to be careful of whenever you're working with arrays is that you can reassign a whole array. Not only can you reassign each element inside of the array, you can reassign a whole array. So here we have an array called cars that has string Honda, string Toyota, string Ford, and string Tesla in it. And then on the next line, we have a whole completely different array called nums. And nums has an array that has the number 1, 2, and 3 in it. Okay. Now, the really weird thing is that I can reassign cars to num. So that when I go ahead and I console log cars, it's no longer the array holding cars in it. It's now an array that has the numbers. So be careful. You can overwrite whole arrays by assigning an array to a different array. And I had to put a exhibit there because that was getting a little wild. I don't know why that was. Diabolical's message got blocked by the spam filter. It just said German restaurant. That was funny. I don't know what that was about, but thank you, Alyssa, for pulling it out of auto mod. Cool. Let's keep pushing, folks. Just be careful. You can reassign whole arrays. All right. Arrays come with properties that we can access and methods that we can run. If you did the object reading, you'll know what a property and a method is. But something really cool that comes along with arrays is something called length. And so what you can do is you can take any array and do dot length. And what will happen is it'll tell you how many elements are inside of that array. Now, something that gets people tripped up is that if there are 4 elements in the array, you're going to get a length of 4. It doesn't start counting at 0. Length starts counting at 1. Has nothing to do with the indexes. Length will always give you the total number of slots in your toaster, right? It won't start counting at 0. It'll start counting at 1. What? Yeah. There's a whole JavaScript lecture on YouTube called What, like W-A-T. It's really funny. I'll put it in Discord. It just talks about all the weird quirks that are in JavaScript, but this is an interesting one. Length will tell you how many elements are in the array, like how many things are in your toaster, and it starts counting at 1. Cool. All right. We have some code that I would like you to work through in the init to winit folder. So let's go ahead and open up that code. I'm going to close these two. All right, init to winit. Boom, boom. All right. So there are a few different challenges that are asking you to use arrays. And so I'm going to put 4 minutes on the clock here, and I want you to start working through it. So let's put 4 minutes. If you need the materials, you can do !Discord in our chat. All right. And that'll give you the ability to join our Discord. You agree to our rules, and then you'll have a follow along materials channel where you can get the materials that you see in front of you right now. So let's go ahead and start the clock. I'll bring some tunes as you work on this. If you have questions, go ahead and ask them in chat. Happy to answer them. Alrighty. Kdo, should I remember sometimes you have to subtract 1 from the length? Yeah, that can be a thing because sometimes you want the last element in an array. And since the length will tell you the total number, but the index will be 1 less because it started at 0. Yeah. The flow is weird. It took a second to start. I'm not sure what that was. I think maybe we're at the end of the track. You'll actually see that in a few seconds, Kdoj. I'm going to ask you to use that exact method. Read my mind. Folks that are new, if you want the slides, it's ! Slides in the chat. If you want the materials to follow along, it's ! Discord. Join our Discord. There's a follow along materials channel. You can get it. Holy smokes. Okay, let's already done. Chess Please is already done. Alyssa, thank you so much for always putting that in the chat. I really appreciate it. Not done already. Oh man, I should have made this 3 minutes. Jeez. Karma's done. Well done, everyone. Wolf pack of 1. Oh, woo, is done. Chess, please. I've been doing it beforehand, so a bit easier. Okay, I see you. Luck Monkey's done. There was a gas leak twice? Jeez Louise, Alyssa. Sorry you had to go through that. Blah blah law is done. Diabolical done. Nice. Straight jacket done. Flower bomb is done. K cost is done. Nice. Wow. Okay. I should have. Now I know I got to make this one a little bit shorter. Izzy 42 is done. Orasi done. Nice. Erica M Carr is done. Spliff Gates is donezo. Hope I'm not on your donezo list. Minute 35 for the folks that are still working. Make an Anki card to remind you to make it shorter. Yeah, that'd be a good one. That's a good idea. Cross is done. The code planner is done. Nice. Okay, it took me a shockingly long time to come up with 3 movie names. I feel that. When I was first thinking through mine, I had to, fall back on Bring It On, or else I would have been stuck. Code Planner read my mind. The Code Planner read my mind. I was reaching for my drink. I was like, I'm thirsty. Cheers to you, Code Planner. Thank you for the hydration. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ooh, knock. Those are good ones. Omar is done. Nice. Hope you're still happy, Omar. Imran. Nice. Done. Silvaria. Done. Alrighty, folks. 15 seconds left, and then come on back. Mine with the done. Nice. 6, 5. Ooh, Jenner with the done. Nice. Woo! And that's time, folks. Come on back. Come on back. David at the buzzer beater. Ooh. Alrighty, folks. Come on back. Come on back. Let's go ahead and do this. Spliff gates, the micro Leons will be forever. So they kind of just keep racking up. You can always use them whenever we're live. All right, let's do this together. Let me kill the music here. All right, create an array of movies with at least 3 movies. I'm just gonna grab Noxed. I like Noxed ones. I'm gonna grab those from chat. If it'll let me. All right, create an array with 3 movies. So we'll call let movies equal. There we go. And so it's gonna wrap these in strings. Boom. Boom. And boom. All right, there you go. An array of 3 movies. Thank you, Nox. Using the array from above, store the first movie in a variable. So let's call let first movie equal. And then how am I going to get the first movie, chat? What would you do to get the first movie out of this array? What would you do to get the first movie out of this array? Ooh, Erica with the first one. Yes. Movies, square brackets, 0. Using that 0 index would pull out Shawshank Redemption from the movies array and store it in first movies. It doesn't actually pull it out of the array. Sorry. It just sets that variable equal to that value. Nice. Get the length of the original array and store it in a new variable. All right, let's do let movie length equal, and then movies dot length, like we just saw on this slide before. There we go. There we go. There we go. We've got the length of the movies. All right, let's look at this last one. Get the last element in that array and store it in a new variable. All right. So let's do that. Let's do a little bit of a cheating way first. I see chat's already well ahead of me, but let's go ahead and do it. Let's do it the easy way first. So let's do let last, give a little space here. Let last movie equal. And I'm going to do movies, and let me go ahead and do square brackets. And if I wanted the last movie and I just wanted to use the index, I could do 2, right? That would give me the Dark Knight. Shawshank is 0, Green Mile is 1, and the Dark Knight is 2. But the question asked, hey, what if the array was really large and we didn't know the value of the last one? How can I always make sure I've grabbed the last movie? And so here's a little hack that you can do. You ready for this? Movie length minus 1. Okay. Movie length minus 1. Because what we're saying here is movie length, right? What movie length is the length of the array. So the length of the array in this scenario is 3. So if I do 3 minus 1, I get 2, which will then go ahead and give me the last item in the array. If I kept adding to this array and I kept having more and more values that were inside of the array, this would always work. The length would always give me the total number of elements that were in the array, and I would have to subtract 1. Chat, why would I always have to subtract 1 to get the last movie out of the array? Why would I have to do that, chat? Whew, we're on point tonight. Yeah. The array starts at 0. So since the array starts at 0, we're always going to be 1 behind if we want to use the index. So doing the length minus 1 will always give us the last index, or the index of the last element. Nice. Well done, chat. Well done. All right, let's continue on. Let me save this so I can share it later. Clean this up a little bit. All right. We're gonna pick up a little bit here. This is gonna be a little tricky to follow along. That's okay. I want these ideas to marinate into your head, all right? And then you'll come work on them a little bit later. So with arrays, we get a lot of really cool things that we can do. One of the things that we're gonna wanna do is to iterate through the array, like move through the array and get everything that's everything that's in our toaster, we eventually have to go get. We have to get the toaster strudel out. We have to get the bagels out. We have to get the bread out. We have to get everything out of the array. And so we're going to eventually want to iterate through the array and get these things out. Okay. So here is an array called best colors. Don't at me. In best colors, we have string green, string blue, string yellow, and string black. Okay. And so with those colors, we can then loop through this array and pull out each color. So this loop, starts at 0. So the first color that comes out is best colors 0, which will give us green. Then we add 1 to I, we're at 1, which would be blue. We add 1 to I, we're at 2, which would be yellow. And then we add 1 to I, we're at 3, which would be black. And then we add 1 to I, and we're at 4. And since 4 is less than, we're at 4 for I. Since 4 is less than 4, we don't continue. We stop right there. So here, I was able to use the length of the array as a means to stop my loop, right? I was able to say, hey, as long as we're less than colors.length, we're good to go. Because best colors.length gave me 4. So I was able to get all 4 colors out of this array by looping through them. Okay. So this is an example of a for loop that we've seen before, but accessing each element out of the array. Nice. All right. Here's some fancy pants ES6. ES6 stands for ECMAScript 2016 Plus. What that means is the newer versions of JavaScript, the newer syntax that's come out. With the newer syntax, we got one of these. Chat, what is this? Anybody know what that is, chat? You did the functions reading? What would that be called? What would that be called? Yeah, Diabolical got it first. It's an arrow function. Nice. It's an arrow function. So this is a really neat little bit of code here. For each is a function that's built into JavaScript that enables us to loop through each item in the array. For each is going to move through the array and pop off a few things as it moves through. I mean, it's going to take in a few things as it moves through. Okay. The very first time, what it's going to do is it's going to pull the element and the index for each element in the array. So if there are 4 elements in our array, for each will automatically run 4 times. Okay. If there were 100 items in our array, for each would run 100 times. And all it's going to do as it moves through the array, it's going to grab the element and the index for each element. So that's what I have here. I have a fat arrow that's going to take in, arrow function that's going to take in. It's going to take in X and it's going to take in I. X is the element that's going to come out. I is the index that's going to come out. So I should have probably used E. E would have been a better variable name here, right? So what's going to happen is that this is going to run. It's going to run 4 times. The first time it runs, X is going to be green. So we'll console log green. It's going to run again. Now X will be blue, and we'll console log blue. Then X will be yellow, and we'll console log yellow. And then X will be black. We'll console log black. And then we stop. Okay? That's it. It ran 4 times because there are 4 elements in the array. The cool thing is I could have also used like maybe sometimes I want the index, maybe I want to update the array as I move through it. So you can use the index if you want to. That comes with for each as well. So there are a lot of these built-in methods that we're going to learn about. They're going to make it easy to move through the content in our array, add stuff and remove stuff from our array. So these are just two kind of quick ways of looping through an array. You can use the built-in like methods we've used before, like for and while, or you can use these built-in for each that gives you the ability to move through content. All right. We have another code challenge to work through that's going to use these looping mechanisms. Don't be afraid to go back and look at the slides. If you remove that /live from the slide, you can go back and forth if you want. Okay. And so let's go ahead and open up and take a look. Fight to the finish, main.js. So 3 things I'm going to ask you to do. Create an array of movie titles, loop through the array of each element, and add each element to the H2. So I want you to take each element and put it in the H2. We did this last class, right? We put stuff into an H2 last class. Do it with the movie titles, please. I want you to create an array of numbers, loop through the array, and I forgot this, I added it here, and add 3 to each number, replacing the old number. And then find the average of all the numbers from question 3. So these are pretty difficult. Not gonna lie, these are hard. These are challenges, especially if you're still feeling a little shaky with loops. So I'm gonna put the challenge out there. This is a hard one. I'm gonna put 5 minutes on the clock. Give it a good try. If you're a little shaky, I spelled minutes wrong. If you're a little shaky, that's okay. Go back and look at the slides, remove that live from the slides, and try at it. If you think number 2 is easier than number 1, you can start there. Do what one you feel comfortable with first, and give it a good old 100 devs try. I'm gonna put some tunes on. Dig in. Give it a good shot. Give it a try. Even if you don't feel comfortable with it, try it. Get something happening. Look at the previous slides if you need some help. Thank you, Alyssa, for the 100 devs in chat. I appreciate that. Go ahead, give it a nice shot. If you have questions, go ahead and ask questions. Happy to answer them as we move through it. Black and yellow, black and yellow. There you go. Almost a Brazilian flag. Ah, missed it. If you're new and you want to follow along, you can see in chat, we just had the exclamation point slides go up, so you can go ahead and grab the slides. If you want to kind of go back and look at the code that we just talked about, you just remove that /live from the URL, and then I'll give you the slides that you can move about as you please. If you want the materials that we're using, you can go ahead and do exclamation point Discord. What that will do is it will give you access to our Discord community, where you can download the materials for today, like the ones we're moving through right now, in the follow along materials channel, which you agree to our rules. If you're new, go ahead and give us a follow. That way more folks can see us in the Twitch listings. Helps more folks come and learn how to code. Oh, kill shot. Thank you. Appreciate it. RS Romano. Thank you. I appreciate that. Alrighty, folks. 3 minutes left on the clock. 3 minutes left on the clock. Dig deep. You got this. If you somehow manage to finish this, please put done in the chat. This would be a really hard one to finish within those 5 minutes. That'd be near impossible, we should say. We're going to go through them all together. And as always, after class, all of the code that we solve together will go in our Discord channel. So if you want to follow along, if you're watching on YouTube and you want the solutions, go to our Discord. They'll be there for you. Alrighty, folks. Keep digging. Keep going. OG Jake in the building. Thank you for the follow. RS Romano said, do you have a schedule for the full boot camp? Class will definitely always be on Tuesday and Thursday. We'll have office hours always on Saturday. And then if you're accepted into the 100 devs, we'll have private review sessions that won't be on Twitch. That'll be other times during the week. So Tuesday, Thursday will definitely always be class. Saturday will always be office hours. And then we'll have some extra classes for those that are a part of 100 devs. So been listening on class, but joined a hackathon and got picked up last minute. Miss Turner, that's awesome. Now doing front end for a fashion and beauty site. That's really cool. What hackathon are you participating in? Is Google Drive an acceptable format for the video submission? As long as it will play for me in the browser and I don't have to download something, then I think we're good. Is it October 20th yet? Not yet. Not yet. 1 minute left. Dig deep, folks. You got this. Happy to be the motivation, Miss Turner. You got this. Good luck with the hackathon. Let us know if we can help. "45 seconds, folks. You got this. Dig deep. You can do it. I believe in you. Eke out that last bit of code." 30 seconds left. Excuse me, sorry. DN Bull, that is part of the syntax for an arrow function. It's just a different way of writing a function that we got with the newer versions of JavaScript. Ars Romano will be doing full stack JavaScript. So we'll go from the basics of HTML and CSS to JavaScript to Node to React, MongoDB, and Postgres. Romano, happy to be here. Thank you for joining. Alrighty, folks. Okay, let's sort of done. It's awesome. Nice. Let's come back, folks. Let's come on back. Let's get through this together. I'm going to go ahead and kill the music. What? Funny commentary. Hey, I appreciate that. 5 subs? What? That's wild. Thank you so much. Looks like Cyber Ninja got a sub, Cross got a sub, Medi got a sub, Stefan Hayden got a sub, and DFDX2 got a sub. That's awesome. Thank you for doing that. You folks now all have access to the Micro Leon, so you can spam chat with my face. I really appreciate that, Funny. As always, all donations go to a nonprofit called Resilient Coders, so I appreciate you doing that. Appreciate folks that have been subbing, donating subs, which is wild. If you have Twitch Prime, you can actually sub for free, and that'll count as a donation to Resilient Coders. So, hey, I appreciate it, everyone. I like seeing the faces. All right, let's go over this together. I'm going to kill the music. Thank you again, Funny. That was awesome. All right. Create an array of movie titles and loop through the array with each. I'm just going to go ahead and grab this from the other one. Just going to grab my array. Rip. There we go. All right. There's our array of movie titles. Loop through the array and each element to the H2. Imran Muhammad, thank you for the sub. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Let's go ahead and do loop through the array and add each element to the H2. So we can do the for each, or we can do the for. Let's do the for because it's a little bit clearer to see at first. So let's do a for. And let's go ahead and do let I equal 0. And while I is less than, what did I do? When I is less than movies dot length, that way we know we'll stop when we get to the end of our array. And we'll do I plus plus, so it's going to go up each time. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to find that H2 document dot query selector, and I'm going to select the H2, and then we're going to do inner text like we did last time, and we're going to do plus equals, and then we're going to do movies I. It's an interesting one. So let's talk about this. So we have our array that has 3 movies in it. And then we have a for loop that'll run 3 times because it's going to go up until the length of our array. Okay. And so what's going to happen is that what we're going to do is we're going to loop 3 times. And each time we're going to select that H2 and plug in the current movie. So when it first runs, it'll be movie 0, which will be Shawshank Redemption. Movie 1, index of 1 will be Green Mile. And then index of 2 will be The Dark Knight. And so each time I is going to go up by 1, which would be a new movie being appended into that H2. So that's pretty neat. Pretty cool. All right, let's move on to the next one. Create an array of numbers. All right, let num equal, we'll call it nums, equal, and we'll do 1, 2, 3. Loop through the array and add 3 to each number to replace the old number. Let's do a for loop again, just because it'll be a little bit easier of a syntax. Let's do let I. Let's do let I equal 0 while I is less than nums.length. That way we don't go past the total number of elements in the array. And we're going to add 1 to I each time, right? And so what we're going to do is it's going to be a little tricky. We need to get the number out of the value and update it at the same time. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do nums I equals nums I plus 3. What is that? What's going on here? All right, so let's talk about this. What we're going to do is we're going to select an element from the array, and we're going to get the value that's inside of that array and add 3 to it. So let's walk through how this would run. The very first time this runs, nums 0 is this position in the array. We know that nums 0 would be 1. So we would get 1 plus 3, which would be 4. And then it's like putting 4 into this position. The next time this runs, we're at nums 1, which would be this position in the array. So nums 1 is actually the value of 2, which we would add 3 to, which means 5 gets put in this position here. So the last time it runs, nums 2 is actually this position in the array. Nums 2 would give us the value of 3. So it's 3 plus 3. And that value goes into this position in the array. Whew, boy, that's a rough one. I know that's hard. This is your first time really dealing with arrays, really dealing with loops and arrays. That can be really confusing. Just know that when you're accessing arrays, it's a getter and a setter. So we can set a value and we can get a value with that notation. So this square brackets notation can set a value and get a value. Okay. This is a little bit advanced. This is advanced. I know this is advanced. All right. So don't worry if it didn't hit the first time we went through it. Come back to this, rewatch it, play with it, try doing it, right? Try running it, try getting it to work. And if you have questions specifically about this stuff, office hours on Saturday. Well, on Saturday, happy to go through this stuff if you have questions and you want to keep pushing through it. All right. This last one, find the average of all the numbers from question 3. All right, so if I'm thinking through pseudocode for this one, to find an average, right? To find an average, I would need to add all the numbers, and then I would need to divide them by the total number. Okay, so that's what we would need. So let me think about how the steps I would use to do this. So what I could do is I could create a new variable called sum and set it equal to 0, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to loop through nums. All right, I'm going to loop through nums. So I'm going to go ahead and do a for loop again. I think on during office hours, I'll go back through this and use for each for all of them. So if you're curious about how to use for each or other methods like map to do this stuff, we'll go over that during office hours. Let it equal to 0. We'll do while I is less than nums.length, and we'll do I++. And what we're going to do is we're going to do sum plus equal nums I. Whew. So what this is going to do is we're going to loop through that nums array. We're going to pull off each of the numbers. So remember, we added 3 to them, so we're going to pull off 4, then 5, and then 6. And each time we pull off a number, we're adding it to sum. So by the end, sum is going to be the addition, right? Sum is going to be the addition of each of the numbers in the array. And then the last thing I would need to do to get the average is I can say average, let average equal sum divided by what? What would I need to divide sum by, chat? I know this is a difficult one. I know this is difficult. Come to office hours. We'll go over it together. But if you're able to follow along here, what would I divide sum by to get the average? Anybody know? Yeah, we could do the nums.length. Cool. There we go. So we create a new variable called sum that's going to hold the sum. This loop went ahead and added all the numbers to sum. And then to get the average, we took whatever the sum was and divided by the total number of numbers, which was in the length. Boom. All right. I know this is difficult. I know this is a hard one. If it melted your brain, that's okay. Come back to it, rewatch the video, and then come to office hours on Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern time to 3 p.m. Eastern time here on Twitch. We're definitely going to run through these again. We're definitely going to do them with for each. We might do something like a map just to spice it up a little bit. So if you're having trouble, I know this is a hard one. I know this is like heavy programming. If you're not used to programming, it's going to be a little bit hard. I wanted to give some examples to push folks while they were here tonight. Cool. Let's keep rolling. There are a few more things I want to introduce to y'all. We'll do one more coding challenge, and then we will call it for the evening. All right. So there are some other really helpful methods that come built in with arrays. So far we saw for each, which was really cool. We saw a property of length, which was really cool. But there are other methods that are built into arrays that can do really cool stuff. Put stuff into arrays, take stuff out of arrays. And so I want to work through those together. And so here we go. Here we have a list of the best rappers of 2020. Okay. So in that list of best rappers for 2020, we have 6ix9ine, we have Polo G, and we have 6ix9ine yet again. Okay. What we want to do though is we want to remove 6ix9ine from this list. And so one of the ways that we can pull who is Polo G? Oh my gosh. Amazing. Please go on YouTube. Luck Monkey, just leave the stream. I don't care if you all leave. Just leave the stream and go listen to Polo G. That would be a really good use of your time. I'm kind of joking. Wait until after stream. We're almost done. All right. So we want to remove 6ix9ine from this array. We could overwrite it with the index notation that we have, but I'm going to show you some methods that are built in. Our rap tastes really different. I'm going to show you some methods that are built into arrays that can help us with this problem. So the first one we're going to use is shift. What shift will do is it will remove an item from the beginning of an array. So what we've done is we have used shift, and what happened is it pulled the first 6ix9ine, right? It pulled the first 6ix9ine off of the best rappers of 2020 list. So if at the moment we console log, right? If we console log best rappers of 2020, we would only get Polo G and 6ix9ine. Okay. What if we want to do it from the other side? What if we want to pull the 6.9 off the end? Well, we have another method built into JavaScript called pop. And so what pop will do is it'll pull the last item off of the array. So if I do best wrappers 2020 pop, what that's going to do is it's going to remove the last 6.9 from the array. So now if we console log best wrappers of 2020 right now, both the 6.9s are gone and we're left with just polo G. Okay. We still need a pop lock and drop at channel points redemption. I will add it. Somebody remind me on Discord and I will add the pop lock and drop it probably for like 100,000 points. And I'll bust it out. I'll give you a little taste. Hold on. Let me Okay, we got it. Just that's proof that I can do it. So we'll put 100,000 points on the line, and we'll do a full 2-minute dance off between me. Whoever gets the 100,000 points, it'll be a dance off. I'll win, but we'll do it. Cool. DDR stream goal, that'd be funny. 98,000 to go. All right, so we've seen two so far that are really cool. We've seen shift, which will take something off the front of the array, and we've seen pop, which will take something off the end of the array. Okay. Now, what we really want to get to is that there are two other methods that we can use as well. So we saw shift and pop take stuff off arrays, but what if we want to add stuff to arrays? Well, we have unshift, and so here is unshift. What unshift is going to do is it's going to put Dylon at the front of the array. Okay. So unshift does the opposite of shift. Unshift will put Dylon at the front of the array. Okay. And we have a similar one for the end. We have push. What push will do in this case is push will put Dylon also at the end of the array. All right. So now we have shift, unshift, and push, right? Putting stuff onto the end of the arrays. And so let's run through them real quick again, just while we're here. Shift will pull it off the front. Pop will pull it off the end. Unshift will put something on the front. And push will put something on the back. So now, if we were to console log best wrappers 2020, we have Dylon, polo G, Dylon. Okay. And so what we're building up to is not only the best wrappers of 2020, but the best wrappers of all time. For those that don't know, best wrapper all time, there's 5 of them. Dylon, 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 and Dylon, and Dylon. And does anybody know why Dylon is the best wrapper of all time? Can anybody give me that in chat? If anybody in chat knows why there you go. Spits the hot fire. Super Cyborg Ninja. You beat me to it. I was going to say it gets automatic entry into 100 devs. So, Super Cyborg Ninja, message me here on Twitch. You just got placed into 100 devs. Well done. Well done. You had to wait. You had to wait for me to give the cue. He spits the hot fire. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. 98 devs. Where'd my pen go? No. Oh, here we go. I always lose my pen behind my keyboard. All right. So let's take a look at this. There are other methods that are built in that help us do stuff with arrays. The one that we have here is map. This is a fun one. What map will do is it will move through an array, pull the item from an array, do something with it, and at the end, map returns a whole new array. Okay? All right? It will give us a whole new array. So what I'm doing here is for best rappers of all time. What I have done is I've used the best rappers of 2020 with a map. All this is going to do is run 3 times and return Dylon each time. So best rappers of all time, I can't believe I'm doing this. Best rappers of all time is just Dylon, Dylon, Dylon. Okay? And then what we want to do is we want to unshift Dylon onto the front, and we want to push Dylon onto the back. So that way when we console log best rappers of all time, we get Dylon, 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 Dylon. Dylon is the best rapper of all time because he spits the hot fire. That's who Dylon is, Luck Monkey. All right. That was me goofing. I had a lot of fun building this one. But we have a code challenge. A raid at worldwide cheer smack. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Pop Smoke, best rapper. Rip. She liked the way that I woo. I want to be able to like do the grr that he does in Dior. I just don't have it in me. All right, let's take a look at this last one. Let me close these two. All right. Arrays worldwide cheer smack. Let's look at this. Create a function that takes in a number. The function should return an array that contains every number from 1 to that number as separate. Alyssa, can you ban funny commentary, please? I'm joking. Please don't ban them. Create and they just gifted all the subs and we banned them for like in Rust. That'd be hilarious. All right. Create a function that takes in a number. The function should return an array that contains every number from 1 to that number as separate elements. All right. I'm going to put 3 minutes on the clock for this one. Give it your all. Pull up the code. Go for it. Why do I keep spelling minutes wrong? All right. 3 minutes on the clock. Let me bring up the music. Just bring up Dylon's greatest hits. Have at it. Give it a solid 3 minutes and we'll go over this together. There you go, funny commentary. 3 minutes on the clock. If you're new and you need the starter code that we're using, !Discord in chat will give you access to our Discord community. Agree to the rules. Once you do, you can use the follow materials channel to to get access to all of our materials. It'll be in the follow along materials channel. All right. About 2 minutes left, folks. If you have questions, go ahead and throw your questions in chat while you're working. Happy to answer them. We're going to go over this together, and then we'll finish it up today with the raid. Send some positivity somebody else's way. And then we'll be back here together on Saturday for office hours. There's a lot of stuff here that's confusing, that was new. If you have trouble with anything, stop by office hours. Time to ask questions. We'll answer any of the questions that you have. So feel free to join us then. K-Joe's just realized all the project names are the names of the sequels. Yes, they are. Because last class we did Bring It On and Bring It On Again. So all of the examples we've done were the rest of the movies in order. Also, if you open the index files, there's actually photos of each movie as a DVD cover. And so like if you had looked at the materials ahead of class, you might have been able to get that first question, which would have been funny. So just something to keep in mind, that attention to detail, something I'm looking for in my 100 devs, right? And so it's funny. I'm about to watch Bring It On tonight, no cap. I love it. Woo! Got some folks done already. Diabolical with the done. Erica with the done. Jenner with the done. Knocked with the done. Nice. Wow, well done, people. Where am I from? I'm originally from Philly. Tiembo. Originally from Philly. I grew up in South Philly. Listen, your TV movie tastes are certainly interesting. Yeah. Ooh, Kayla with the done. Super cyborg ninja with the done. Nice. All right, folks, let's come back. Let's go over this together. Well done, everyone. All right. Let's do this together. One second. All right, let's go over this together. Come on back if you're still working. We'll go over it together. All right. Got some folks done. Create a function that takes in a number. All right, let's do that first. Let's do our function. It's going to take in a number, so we'll do num to array, because that's what it's doing, right? It's taking a number and turning it into an array. We'll take in a parameter of num, and then what we're going to do is we're going to return an array that has 1 to each number. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and create an array. Let nums equal, and it'll just be square bracket, or let's call it num array. I like calling it num array better. And then it's going to do a nice little for loop. All right, and we'll do let I equal 1, because that's what we'll start with. And we'll say while I is less than num, because that's what we're going to go up to. And we'll do I++. So it adds 1 each time. All right. And then all we're going to do is we're going to take this num array each time, and we're going to push whatever I is. Right? We'll push whatever I is each time. Right? And when we push that I, what eventually we'll have is a num array that has everything in it. And then we'll just return num array. There we go. Flower bomb. Oh shit, I actually did it right. Woo, well done, Flower bomb. That's awesome. Alrighty, folks. So that was the last one. As always, this code will be on our Discord channel post. Once we wrap up, it'll be on the Discord channel. So if you need the solutions, they'll be there. The homework for tonight, since we do have the class that'll be coming up on Tuesday, the homework will be to read about objects. Okay. So I know we covered a lot of interesting stuff tonight, a lot of hard stuff tonight. If anything's still not fully clicking, make sure you go back, reread, watch, and then come on Saturday. Come to office hours and we'll get you feeling good. Okay. So office hours are 12 p.m. Eastern time to 3 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be right back here on Twitch. I hope to see you then. It's been a wonderful evening hanging out with you all, learning some JavaScript, learning some arrays. Hope you have some fun. Hope you learned something. What I would like to do, as always, I want to end with a raid. Let's send some love and positivity to another streamer that's talking about tech. So let's go ahead and do that. If you do the raid, you of course get more channel points to come on back here and use. Hopefully unlock that OnlyFans nice and quick. So it's been wonderful having you all. Let's do a raid. Starting that raid now. I'll see you all over there. Good night, everyone. Been a lot of fun. See you on Saturday and then hopefully on Tuesday. Let's raid.